Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
You'll know it opens with a scene in which...
Oh, no, not this. This one. Oops. I did not... Oh, I did not know I was letting it play. Sorry, guys. So I just typed in healthcare EU versus US. This is one of the videos. Evan Ettinger, also a great channel. I'm not sure if I've seen that one. And another one. I just think healthcare is one of, excuse me, along with gun laws, though some of you European countries, the UK has much more, like, it's easier to get a gun in the UK than I thought it would have been. Not saying it's like the US, but just you guys seem to have really reasonable gun laws. And so that and healthcare, just things that are hugely different depending on which side of the Atlantic you are on. And I like watching these videos, watching the differences. Preemptive like. I gave him a preemptive sub. Let's go. The link to the original video from Life of Carl. 2.1 million views on when he has 2.26k subscribers. That is very impressive. Let's go, guys. My name's Connor. I said all the original stuff, right? Original link to his video. Go check it out for sure. Let's see. Okay.
Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about my healthcare experience when I went to Europe. So I just got back from a trip to Europe. I went to Barcelona in Spain, and then I flew to Amsterdam. I was in Barcelona for a week. I was in Amsterdam for a week too, and then I went to Vals, which is in southern Holland, for my uncle's wedding, and I went to Mönchengladbach, Germany, for 2 days, and then I flew back home. So when I was in Amsterdam, I hurt my foot. I went dancing for too long in a nightclub, and the next morning when I woke up, my foot was like, it hurt really bad. It really felt like someone had like taken a hammer.
This advice: if you're in America and that happens to you, guys, you're European, do not take an ambulance. Walk there, okay? You're gonna get billed $900. Just suck it up and walk. Forget it. All right.
I almost smashed right behind my toes on my left foot. And it was swollen, but there was no marking, so it really, I was kind of confused. I was like, why does it hurt? And I guess I just had overstressed it. So I took it easy for a couple days, and then I decided, then I went on a walking tour of Amsterdam. I did a guided tour of the red light district and this like museum tour and stuff like that. So I was walking around for like 2 hours straight, and normally that's no problem. I walked like 6 miles a day when I was in Barcelona, and I'd been biking around all the time in Amsterdam. But by the end of the walking tour, my foot was just hurting really badly, and I was limping, and I knew it was no good. So the next day, I drove with my uncle to Vals because we were going there for his wedding. And, not much improvement at all. I think I waited one more day, and then on the day of the wedding was starting at like 1:32, something like that. I was like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. It's not improving. It's getting bad. So I was at a hotel, so I asked the hotel reception, where's the nearest doctor? So they pointed out on the map for me, and it was like a block or 2 blocks away. I think it was 3 blocks. So I called them up, and the recording line was in Dutch, so I had no idea. I speak German and Spanish pretty well, but I can't speak Dutch, so I had no idea what they were saying on the recording line. So I said, screw it, I'm just gonna go straight there. So it was I think it was around 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, on a Thursday. And I walked there, I limped to the doctor's office. So I get there, and I check in, and I just go up to the desk and I say, hey, how's it going? I got this problem, blah blah blah. They take my ID, they scan it, they tell me that it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to check me out. So keep in mind, you know, I'm an American citizen.
It's a bargain.
I live in California. I have health insurance here, but I don't have, you know, it's not international health insurance. So I'm over there. I am not a citizen and I have no health insurance. So they tell me, okay, so it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to see you. So I say, okay, all right. That's like what a copay is in America.
Yeah, that's a deal.
So I go. I had to get cash. They wanted me to pay in cash. So I was like, that's fine. So there's an ATM across the street. So I went and got the cash, and then I waited probably like 10 minutes, maybe. It might have even been less than that. It was like 10, 15 minutes. I went and saw the doctor. She examined my foot. You know, she did a thorough job. She looked at it. She said, you know, she asked me questions, blah, blah, blah. She looked at my other foot to compare. My left one was kind of swollen and blah, blah, blah. So she looked at the foot. She said, okay, I think you need an x-ray. I think it has like a stress fracture. And, you know, she heard my whole story and everything. She said, I don't have an x-ray machine here, but I can write you an x-ray recommendation for a hospital. So I said, okay, that sounds good. She wrote me the recommendation, and then she said, I can give you it's like a painkiller / anti-inflammatory prescription. So I went, so I said, okay, great, that sounds good. I'll take the prescription. So she gave me the prescription. There was a pharmacy in the downstairs of the doctor's office. So I went down the elevator, went to the pharmacy. They filled my prescription, and it was 7 euros for this like painkiller / anti
With no insurance.
Pill. So and it was funny because they said, "Oh, do you want a receipt so you can try to get your health insurance to pay for it?" And I just started laughing. I was like, you know, what's the point? You know, I'm going to spend like an hour on the phone to try to get 5 euros from the insurance company or whatever. So I was like, no, it's fine, don't worry. So I had the painkiller and I had the doctor, you know, the recommendation for an X-ray. Okay, so the next day, so the wedding happens. The next day, my foot's actually feeling a little better, probably due to the pill she had given me.
Can I just say quick? I'm going to go back 10 seconds. So, a large argument I hear, you know, from like, yeah, you know, much more, you know, free, maybe better healthcare, more equal healthcare, but good luck when your foot hurts or good luck waiting a month before getting a doctor, and he got it in 10 minutes. So I'm always of the opinion that like there has to be, nothing can be too good. Like there has to be a downside. He's not a natural citizen. He doesn't have insurance, obviously. And he's
for an X-ray. Okay, so the next day, so the wedding happens. The next day, my foot's actually feeling a little better, probably due to the pill she had given me. And so I'm driving with my relatives to Mönchengladbach, which is pretty close to the German Dutch border.
Oh, I assumed because of München. Never mind, I'm an idiot.
Pretty close to the German Dutch border. So my aunt, my great aunt, she takes me to the basically the emergency room in her town, Mönchengladbach. So I go there. They had me fill out a little bit of paperwork. They like photocopied my ID. I signed a couple things. So I go to get the X-ray, and First, I'll tell you how long I waited. First, I check in, then I go back to the emergency room. I probably waited about a half hour. I think I made like a phone call and I read a couple news articles on my phone. Like, you know, it was a half hour, and this is an emergency room. And again, I have no insurance and I'm not a German citizen. So go there, I wait about a half hour, I go and see the doctor examines me again, I tell her the whole story. Then she says, okay, we're gonna give you an X-ray. So I walk down to the X-ray room, they do the X-ray, I go to
That'll be 25 cents. What is he gonna say?
the X-ray. So I walk down to the X-ray room, they do the X-ray, I go to the reception room in the X-ray wing of the hospital, and they say, okay, your charge is 20 euros for the X-rays. Oh, I'm like, all right, great, that sounds good. 20 euros. So I go back up.
What is it with insurance?
They look at my X-ray. They say, okay, you don't have a stress fracture, but you need to take it easy for a bit. They're like, you have lots of inflammation, and you know, you just got to take it easy, and etc. So they give me this. They give me like a pain cream, and they wrap my foot up, and they send me on my way. So I leave the hospital, and I tell my aunt, I'm like, yeah, they only charged me 20 euros, and she, you know how the Germans are. She's like, oh, that's not right. You probably owe them a little more. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we go back to the billing office, and they determine that I owe them another 60 euros. So my total charge for visiting an emergency room in Germany was 80 euros, you know, and that included an X-ray. So if you did the same thing in the United States and you didn't have health insurance, and you know, especially if you're
Just chop your foot off.
a citizen, I'm sure the X-ray would probably cost at least $300 or $400, and then just the fact that you're in the emergency room would at least be another couple hundred. So you'd probably be at the door at 500.
I bet you with all he did, I bet you he would have a bill of about $1,000.
You know, not a citizen, no health insurance, and they charged me 80 euros. And you know, I was happy. I waited a half hour at the emergency room, and I waited like maybe 15 minutes at the doctor's office in Holland. So overall, I think my experience was pretty good, and I was happy that I didn't have a fracture, because that would have really ruined the rest of my trip. And yeah, so it was really good. But I just hope that this leads to a further discussion about the healthcare system we have in the United States, because over there they have a combo. It's mostly universal healthcare, so it's like single payer universal healthcare where the government pays for it. And in Germany, you can buy, I think in Holland too, you can buy supplemental healthcare insurance. So like if you're, for some reason you're not happy with it, then you can pay extra money. But the prices are way lower. The wait times were faster, if you ask me.
That's what blows my mind.
And what a lot of people will say, they'll say about they'll rag on the Canadian system, or they'll rag on universal healthcare systems. They'll say, oh, the wait times are forever, and you're going to get a shitty doctor and poor.
I get mixed answers, or I see mixed answers about that. And some say the wait times are ridiculous, but that it's great quality and cheap, but apparently not always. So that one argument Americans have on healthcare seems to be shaky at best.
Care times are forever, and you're going to get a shitty doctor and poor care. And I never had that problem. And granted, I only went to two different doctor's offices, and a doctor's office and an emergency room. But yeah, that was my experience. So hopefully you can pass this on to other people and tell them, spread the truth. All right, have a good one.
You seem like a really nice guy. I have never had to pay a bit. I've never had a major visit to the hospital. Okay, I know my dad has. So like I've never, and definitely like since I've been an adult, I've never had. But I do know in the U.S., if you do make below like 30, 25, right, there is some, you a lot of the cases you'll get your prescriptions for free and stuff like that. But I really, more than just like, people don't usually get past like the and the anger, but I really want to know why, and in order to change, if it is better than the UK healthcare, other healthcare systems like the NHS, I hear Brits just absolutely love. I want to know why the US doesn't do that, And please know, just like, because like needs are like, I really want to know, like, there can't just be, oh, the pharmaceutical companies don't want to allow that, because then the government, they'll have to bargain more with the government and be less in control of their own pricing and making, right? Even though I'm sure that that's a thing, that there has to be a reason. Is there a, the United States, I think, has a mentality around a lot of things that is the same for healthcare. I could be saying a lot wrong. This is just me, okay? But that I think that we are much more, that's your problem. Or I bet you this, just a theory. If you hear banging and saws, there's construction in the house always, so just bear with me if you can hear that. Oh, crap. What was I going to say? I remember. I think I have a theory that's basically just gut feeling. So, but that I think that much more people in the United States would be pro universal healthcare, similar to Canada, NHS, stuff like that, if it were regionally funded. I think that the U.S. is so big, there are so many people. It's like imagine you as let's say a British person, having, knowing that you're paying for someone from, like, some of your money you're going to be paying to someone from Hungary or something like that. Pick a country, Czechia or whatever. Like, it's, I think that there's more connection in tighter countries, smaller ones, that maybe that's too cynical of a view, but like, and maybe that's completely wrong. But I'm sure that there's the pharmaceutical industry wanting to keep up profits is one part. People, a lot of Americans, Senate and the House, just being wary of more government power in general, unless it's for stuff they want. So I think there are a lot of different reasons, but I really want to know more than just like, oh, because America, money, whatever. So really interesting video. I enjoyed that a lot. I'd appreciate any comments, any answers to any of my questions, any comments in general. And I'll see you guys next time. All right. I think I'm going to do a gun video or another healthcare. Bye, guys.